Welcome to Enlightenment, Reflections of a Traveler, about tips for dealing with criticism.
Dear friends, in life, we often face situations when criticism is directed at us. How do we respond to such life situations? Do we react negatively and thus lose our peace of mind and heart? Or do we remain steadfast and patient? Let us follow this story.
There was a judge who was often made fun of by a lawyer who was arrogant. When asked by a friend, why did he not reprimand his attacker, the judge replied, "In the town where we live, there is a widow who has a dog. Every time the moon shines, the dog comes out and barks all night long." After saying that, the judge changed his conversation to another topic.
After a while, someone asked, "But Your Honor, you haven't finished your statement about the dog and the moon. What happened after that?" "Oh," the judge joked, "the moon just kept shining. That's it."
Dear friend, if you are looking for advice on how to deal with people who always like to criticize everyone, including you, then you have come to the right place. Let's see these 8 tips so that your heart and mind remain calm and your life remains enthusiastic and fresh.
First, don't take criticism personally. The people who criticize you may be trying to bring you down. But remember, they most likely act this way around other people, too. If you believe someone is constantly criticizing you and your behavior, take some time to observe their behavior around other people. Do they make critical comments and focus on the negative around other people, too? If so, that's even more evidence that this person simply has a negative attitude toward life, not you.
Second, taking the positive side of criticism. We all make mistakes. It's human nature. As we go through life, we have many opportunities to learn and improve ourselves. Therefore, whatever criticism is directed at you, analyze it to find something you can learn from it. When someone attacks your character, it's hard to take, but that doesn't mean you should ignore it. Remember, too, that the criticism directed at you may not make sense at the time. Generally speaking, there is usually some truth to criticism, even when it seems to be given out of spite and bitterness. Often, insults to your character are a fair reflection of how others see you at that moment. Take a step back and try to see things from another person's perspective. Maybe ask a friend for an honest opinion, and use the criticism wisely and as a learning experience. See if you can learn a little bit about how others see you. Listen to what they have to say. You may be able to use the criticism to improve your interpersonal skills.
Third, accept their feedback. As with listening and seeking out valuable messages, one way to view criticism is to see it as a source of honesty. If you look beyond the blunt delivery, there may be a kernel of truth that can lead to improvement on your part. Critical people are not always rude individuals. They may be genuinely kind and honest people who are looking out for your best interests. Let the comments go, and there is no longer any desire to seek revenge or harbor hurt feelings. Receiving honest, critical feedback is beneficial to you because it allows you to improve yourself. Critical feedback, while not necessarily intended to hurt your feelings, may lead to your own improvement.
Fourth, address your discomfort. Criticism never feels good, but just as criticism from critical people reflects their beliefs, our inner discomfort also reveals something about ourselves. Try to read your personal discomfort as a source of information for what is being said. If negative feedback consistently hurts you, then it may be related to past events. If you feel uncomfortable every time someone criticizes you, try to sit quietly and understand your personal feelings. As you dig to find the root cause, you will uncover the truth and the root cause of your discomfort.
Fifth, let go and ignore. People who are constantly criticizing others may criticize you, even if you don't ask for their opinion. It's natural to get defensive when this happens. However, this will only lead to a more heated argument. If you are around people who are constantly throwing out negative opinions for no reason, it's best to walk away from them and the situation. If you admit that you are not interested in their conversation and they continue to engage, it's best to ignore them because they are trying to get heated comments from you. By walking away and ignoring them, you are taking control of the situation and acting appropriately and wisely.
Sixth, be kind. Sometimes the best way to deal with someone who is overly critical is to show kindness in whatever way possible. By being kind to someone who is critical, you may give them a feeling they have never felt before. We don't always understand why someone is critical, but it may be because they have a hard time being positive. If you have decided that the criticism is helpful, use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Sometimes we need to take a beating in order to learn what we need to learn.
Seventh, communicate to diffuse tension. In a world dominated by technology, criticism that comes through text, online, or a mail, WhatsApp, is common. You can take a proactive approach to the situation to diffuse the conflict by talking in person or over the phone and video call. Text messages and emails can be misinterpreted, so when discussing a situation, it is better to use our voice and body language.
Eighth, walk away. When all else fails and people continue to criticize and bring you down, avoid them. Minimize contact, limit conversations, socialize with others, or as a last resort, remove them from your life. You have a choice about how you deal with negative people, and you can decide whether or not you want to be around them. If you must be around these people, because they are co-workers or relatives, it is best to avoid them. Ultimately, you have a choice whether you want to have contact, and whether or not this person should be a part of your life, or whether or not you want to cut them out of your life. Don't let criticism destroy you. Be strong enough to understand that you don't need anyone's approval. If you take criticism head-on, you may learn something that will help you grow.
Dear friends, is there a most effective way that you do to deal with people whose character always likes to criticize? Please share in the comments column provided in this video. I and other friends who read your comments want to know more from your experience.
Thank you for being willing to establish friendship through this SMS spiritual refreshment channel. Or in full, spiritual refreshment, just reminding each other.
Please take valuable lessons from these videos to live and use as a mind enlightener and a heart calmer, even as a solution when faced with life's problems, both personal problems and problems with others.